Hey everybody, I'm excited to be here with you today. We're going to do a little sound check here with Shelby. Did everybody hear me? Give me some thumbs up, some hearts, some love. We're good? Sound check, everybody? Okay, he gave me the thumbs up, so we're going to go ahead. I'm so excited to be here today. I want to first apologize right from the get-go for my 13-year-old squeaking voice. I feel like a 13-year-old boy. But today we're going to be talking about classes, and apparently I have been teaching too many because I have lost my voice. So if y'all want to type in some tips or tricks on laryngitis or what could help my voice, I would appreciate it. I'm Nicole Moultrie. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I'm a Blue Diamond in the company and have been fortunate to share doTERRA for almost 5 years. 5 years in September. And like I said, I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you about what a successful class might look like for you, what a structure of a successful class might look like. So when I think about that, there's a few steps we're going to go through. And if you've got a pen or a pencil with you or handy, get ready to take some notes. The first thing I want to talk about is actually before even the class gets started, and I like to call this the prep work. So we can't have a successful class if we don't have attendees. So we've got to be really effective in our inviting and also in our sampling. And what I would suggest is making sure you keep this really personal. We want to make a connection with people when we're going to share something that's going to change their life, right? So I want you to get your personal invitation ready, whether that's a printout and you're going door to door, or you're handing that face-to-face, which I always think is best, or you're making a personal phone call, or you're making a personal text. Just make sure this invitation isn't a mass spam over Facebook, because we all know how we feel when we get that mass non-personal Facebook invite. We either click not interested, not going, or worse, we don't even respond. So I want you to make sure that you keep that really, really personal when you're inviting people. The second thing, in order to get attendees to our class, is to provide them with a sample. What I love to do, and I've been blessed to teach a lot of classes, and also our team is how we've built our business, and these are some of the things that have worked. So get a sample ready, provide them with a sample before the class. And this could be something as easy as saying, hey Sarah, we're having an essential oil class on Tuesday. Would you like to come? We're so excited. Share your little intro or your little story about getting them there, but also leave her with a sample of Deep Blue, because guess what that's going to do? It's going to get her excited. Hopefully, too, she's going to use it before she comes. Ask her to use the product before she gets there so she can have an experience when she walks in the door ready to share with everybody at the class, okay? So we're effectively inviting, we're effectively sampling. And then the second step I want to talk about for successful class is what I like to call setting the stage. So, whether you believe it or not, this is, I think, where a lot of the success comes from, is during a first impression. So, what I like to do is when someone's coming into my home, I want to make sure that the stage is set before they get to my house. Or if I'm teaching in a different location, I want to make sure that I'm at least 15 to 20 minutes early to get our diffuser out, to have our teaching sheets ready to go, to have, I'm going to talk about this, to have our simple refreshments ready. So when someone comes into my home, I've got water, I've got citrus oils, I've got sliced apples. I kid you not, I do this for every class. Sliced apples, the squeak, there it is. Dark chocolate, some almonds, and if I'm feeling wild, we might do some popcorn. But what this is going to show people is it's a class. We're having an educational environment for the night. It's not a wine and dine. We're not having a crazy wild party, but we're promoting an environment for education and excitement and positivity. So keep it simple. The whole theme of this little Facebook Live is going to be simplicity, because that's what's duplicatable. That's what duplicates. So refreshments are simple. If you've got an area where you're teaching, a desk or a table, something like that, make sure you've got your teaching sheets out, ready to go. They're prepped. I love doing a raffle at each event, at each class. Put their raffle sheet on top of their handouts, on top of their teaching handouts, so they can fill that out as they're finding their place, they're getting comfortable there, okay? Pens and pencils. Again, this is this is kind of creating that, oh, this is a class, this is something that I should take serious. I'm really excited about that. The next step in setting the stage, if you aren't already doing this, I promise this will really, really help your classes, okay? Get what I call out your past tense weapon, and we're going to give everybody a little about a 1 minute neck massage. So I like to offer people a past tense neck massage and say, you know, have you tried this? Let them smell it. Apply it to the back of their neck, their shoulders. Let them know what the past tense is doing. But what happens is everybody starts to get a little bit more comfortable. Everybody starts to loosen up. They start to interact. They start to have a good time. Oh, that smells so good. Or, oh, I'm already relaxed. And they're already, again, all about the atmosphere, all about setting the stage, like I mentioned. Okay, so step number 3. Again, we're keeping it very simple. This is the actual class structure that's going to set you up for success. So, quick intro, and I think this is really important. Tell everybody good job. Thank them for coming. Everybody has such busy lives and busy schedules that I think people like to know that, hey, you've done a good thing in taking a step to be empowered to, you know, learn about how you can improve your health through natural solutions. That's a big deal. You only have an hour or so with these people, so provide them as many oil experiences as you can. We've already done that with our water. We've done that with our past tense. And now we're going to do our class structure, like I said. We're going to give a quick intro, let them know you're grateful they came, intro about yourself. This doesn't need to be elaborate. You could say your name just kind of like I did. I'm Nicole Moultrie. I love oils. I've been sharing them for almost 5 years. And then share an oil story. Now, I want you to keep in mind that this doesn't have to be an elaborate tearjerker, raised from the dead type of oil story. This could be something as simple but also significant as an experience you had with your child last week. People at a class, I feel like the more comfortable and the more relatable things can be, and that they can see practical applications for the oils, the easier it is for them. They're going to be excited about that because it makes sense to them. It isn't this crazy story. So keep that short as well. So what we're going to do, I want you to think about your class. Let's say it starts at 6. So from 6 to 6:15, that's a little meet and greet. That's our drinks, that's our past tense, that's our welcome. And then from 6:15 to about 6:45, at half an hour, this is where you're going to start teaching. Keep this simple, and I always joke, I've got my teaching sheet, and I tell people this is going to keep me on track because I would love to stay here all night and talk to you about oils for hours. But they don't have that time, and they don't have the attention span. So keep your teaching portion pretty short. Like I said, half an hour, 6:15 to 6:45. What you're going to do here in this portion is step number 1, we're going to talk about what oils are. Step number 2, we're going to talk about how they work. And then step number 3, we're going to talk about White doTERRA, certified pure therapeutic grade. And throughout those 3 sections, share an oil or 2, not 50. Share an oil or 2, just 5. So here is a story I want to quickly share. And this really was a light bulb for me. It changed the way that I think because we get so excited about everything we know about oils and we want to tell everybody about them. But a few months ago, we were getting a new fence in our house, which was really exciting for our kids in our backyard. And we had the fence guy come over and he started talking to us. And he was really, really informative. He knew everything about fences. He knew everything about the products. He knew everything about the structure. He knew everything about the type of materials and the wind resistance. And he went on and on and on and on to the point where I just wanted to buy the fence and him to stop talking. So we can get too much information for people, and that can paralyze them and also overwhelm them. So keep it short. Don't be the fence guy. The next part of the structure in your successful class will be what I like to call the close. Just when we're wrapping people up and helping them best meet their health needs, best meet their financial needs. So as we've gone through and we've talked to people about those 3 steps, have them write down their health concerns, their top health concerns. Sometimes people will look at you with a blank stare and then remind them to be thinking of other people that this could help as well. They can do that. We like to think of others, so they'll start writing things down. And then guess what happens? With this big chunk of time, 15 to 20 minutes that you've left to help people meet their needs and figure out which kit they would like, you already have those top health concerns to go through. You already have those to start with and help people decide, yeah, I'm working actually on some sleep, I'm working on some mood, I'm working on some energy levels, pain and inflammation, those types of things. You've already got those written down. So that's going to help you hugely. Now, here's a really good rule of thumb. So, when you're teaching a class, I want you to keep in mind to have one wellness advocate for every 2 to 3. Better if 2, but every 2 to 3 customers. Because if you are by yourself and you've got a class of 10 people, you're trying to help each individual or group with their health needs and enroll them, people will wait, but they'll only wait for so long. So if you know you're having a larger class, get some teammates there to help you close people up. That's a really big thing that I learned that the hard way. I thought, oh, if I just would have had more time, or I needed some backup here. So keep that in mind, like I said, if you're having a larger class. When you branch off and are enrolling these people, helping them best meet their needs through the kit options, make sure that they know that this is not the end of the road, that it's actually the beginning for them. Make sure you always have a continuing education class to invite them to that night for the next week. Make sure you set up what we call a membership overview or a wellness consult within 1 week of them enrolling, with 1 week of the night of the class, and remind them that they're now part of an oil community. I kid and I always say, I'm your best. They're asking questions, you know, what do I do now, or what's next? And I say, oh, I'm just your best oil friend as long as you need me. And I'm going to be helping you get started and keep continuing this. This is our oil family. This is our oil community. So when people leave or when people enroll, they feel excited. They don't necessarily feel overwhelmed because you're right there with them. At this part, after we've got their enrollment sheets and we've shown them when the next classes are, we like to do what we do at every class is a raffle. We raffle off an oil of the night, and I would recommend this to everybody. We just do a little sheet where they put their information, whether they're interested in hosting a class, what types of information or classes they're looking for, and then what that does for me. It gets everybody excited. Instead of kind of like a lull at the end of the class, everybody's excited to see if they want the free oil, right? And then the second thing it does is it provides me an opportunity to book a class from a class that night. This is what will keep your momentum going, so you're never out of classes. They've clicked the box or checked the box that they're interested in hosting. Talk to them and set up a date that very night so you've got a class from a class. That's so important. Okay, so quick recap of the 3 steps to have a successful class are, number 1, the prep work. Effective inviting, effective sampling. The second, setting the stage. I hope that you think a little bit more, a little longer about having everything set before somebody walks in. Get the kids out of the room. Make sure you're focused and ready to go. And then the third was our actual class structure that we talked about. So the last thing I want to leave you with, and I'm not sure if we have time for questions or not. If you do, Shelby will guide me on that. But I want you to remember to be excited. People will match your excitement. If you're just looking at the page and you're a little unsure or you're trying to rush through things, they've already checked out. But people will match your excitement. People will match your passion. Be excited. And another thing that I think we get hung up on is we want things to be perfect. I have practiced this Facebook Live thing like 5 times. I really did with my 5 and 7-year-old. And practice helps, but we're going to make mistakes. So when you start teaching a class, don't worry about getting thrown off because you mixed something up and you taught about CPTG before you talked about what oils are. It's okay. Your passion will shine through and you just need to dive in. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you are excited to have a little bit of structure for a successful class and that we'll dive in and get teaching, get enrolling, and honestly get to changing people's lives. So thanks everybody for joining us. Shelby, we're okay? All right. Have a good day, everybody.